It's hard to imagine the scope of e-commerce, especially when considering that the e-commerce penetration in terms of all the retail sales across the world is only like 20%. So we still got 80% to go in the next 10, 20 years. That's insane. And in today's video, I want to show you probably one of the most insane examples that I've found recently. I came across this while doing a little bit of research. I'm still traveling. That's why I got the travel setup. But I actually kind of love this setup secretly. And, you know, this is just crazy. As you see on my screen, this store that I found is doing $147 million in sales all online. And what's even crazier is that this isn't even a brand. So everybody talks about branding, right? Everybody talks about how you need to be creating this incredible brand experience in order to generate sales long term, in order to make it to 7 figures, 8 figures, let alone 9 figures. But this brand is defying all odds. This is literally breaking every single rule in the playbook. And somehow they're just making it work to the craziest level I think I've ever seen. The store is called Luke Forick, and I'm not exactly sure who runs this. This is some like Illuminati of dropshipping and e-commerce stuff right here. Because what the store does is they just sell, it's a general store. They sell all sorts of products. But if you land on their homepage, for example, they're really pushing this lightsaber offer right here. So they got really nice landing pages, really, really simple. I mean, it's a super fast website. But when you actually go to the search, right, you use the search and you look up literally any word, they have like an insane amount of products available on their store. So they're constantly testing, probably every single day. They're testing new products. But here's the craziest part. If we go to their site, like they don't have any social media, they don't have any TikToks, any Facebook pages, nothing. Yet somehow they're literally doing like 8 figures in sales per day. It's so ridiculous. And it just goes to show to me how big you can actually scale despite what anybody tells you. It also shows me that it's never been a better time to not trust any gurus in terms of like what everybody's talking about. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Action and results really are the only thing that matter, and the data. So that's what I'm doing here with this tool called Minia. I do have a discount for you guys on this if you want to use it. You obviously don't need it, but it is pretty wild, especially if you have a business that's already killing it. And let's say you have some money to reinvest into software that's going to make your life a little bit easier when it comes to doing research, which is what we do at AKEMI Lab. We publish all this kind of stuff in our Discord, so you can also join that in the description. But this is so interesting to me. I mean, doing multiple millions per day through a store like this, I've literally never seen it before. These are numbers that people talk about when it comes to software, right? Like software is the most scalable thing out there because you don't need to ship anything out. However, these guys are doing software level numbers. Literally will probably do like $1 billion in sales with this general store and this super simple format. So let's just check out a couple more products just so that you can see the structure that they're following. They're literally using the same template for every single product that they have. And, you know, again, this is stuff that just breaks every rule in the book. They have this blacked out site. It doesn't look super appealing. It almost looks like, you know, a scam, but people love it. People seem to really love it. And I think it's just a numbers game for them. You know, they're probably just pushing the craziest amount of ad spend and volume in terms of products tested every day. So really what this, the best way to take this information in right now, obviously is not to necessarily copy them, because I don't think you're going to be able to build something like this or compete with this. And I don't know if you should want to. Personally, I don't really like this approach, but the numbers speak for themselves, right? So what you should take away from this is, first of all, no idea is too small. Second of all, action beats anything, right? Just take action, start testing products, just launch your business and start driving traffic to whatever product you want to sell, whatever idea you have that you want to sell, just launch it and get it started, because there's people like this launching new things every single day, probably multiple things a day, and are clearing 9 figures, literally 100 million plus, doing the simplest thing possible. And, you know, the last thing is also make sure you focus on finding products people want, or building ideas that people want, that there's demand for, because that's ultimately the most important thing. I mean, I don't think this is the best landing page. It's not the best branding. It's not the most conversion optimized website, yet somehow it's doing all of those things. It's beating every other brand that is struggling right now, that has the best brand design, the best logistics and everything. These guys are killing them in terms of sales somehow. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Just a little case study here. Hopefully this was a good lesson for you. It's definitely a good lesson for me. So yeah, that's it. See you tomorrow. Peace.